What is the best way to get better at listening? The best way to get better at listening is by listening a whole lot more often than you already are. And that is what we're doing here. 5 minutes of daily British English listening practice. The topic today is London, the city of London. I don't live in London. Many people, when they think of the UK or Great Britain or even England, they kind of just assume London. So they assume that you are talking about London, or they think that you live in London. And I grew up in Cornwall, which is like in the car, it's like 4 to 5 hours away at least, depending on where you are driving to in London. And if you live in the north of England, you are even further away. And London is very, very different to the rest of the UK, especially in terms of the economy. It's like a separate country because it's just so much more wealthy and expensive. And it's quite difficult to live in London if you don't have a good job, basically. But also, a lot of the opportunities are in London as well. So, having just graduated from university a couple of years ago, I know lots of people that have moved to London for graduate jobs, entry level jobs, and climbing the corporate ladder, that sort of thing. London isn't really for me. I don't think I will ever live in London. I could maybe see myself doing it for 1 year or something like that, but yeah, I could never commit to living in London. For me, London is like almost like a prison. I don't know. It's just a massive city. I'm from the countryside, and people that grow up in the countryside generally don't like big cities, and vice versa. People that grow up in London get bored in the countryside very easily. But I'm not like that. So I I don't really enjoy London. I find it quite claustrophobic, like we were speaking about in the episode 2 or 3 episodes ago. I feel very trapped. It's just a big city with big grey buildings everywhere, and there's lots of pollution, and everybody is stressed and unhappy and running about. You can't see the stars at night, which doesn't help when the weather's horrible and it's cold, and everybody there just seems miserable until the summer. And I think everybody's happy there in summer. Apparently, it is very nice to live in London in the summer. Apparently, it's very fun. But when you're from the countryside and the weather's nice, being in the middle of a city is the last place that you would want to be. But despite my hate for London, I have been to London a couple of times in my life. Not many, but a couple of times. I think the first time I ever went was in 2012, when it was the London Olympics. And I was in primary school, and my primary school got selected to be a part of the Guard of Honour. So basically, during the opening ceremony of the Olympics, all of the athletes have to walk into the stadium. And when they were walking into the stadium, there were lots of school children on either side of the gates, basically like cheering and supporting them. And my school was given the country of Qatar to support. So that was the first time I ever heard of the country Qatar and learnt about it. I remember I had to do a little research project about it. But yeah, I don't really remember that because I was like 10 or 11. But that's pretty cool. The next time I went to London, I think I was like 16, and I went with my friend to visit another friend, and I don't really remember much of that. It was just a quick trip. Oh, we did go and see the MI6 building, which is pretty cool. That's like James Bond. So the James Bond building. I remember that. That was pretty cool. I've got a photo outside of it with my mate. And I've been to London since maybe a couple of times, but yeah, to me it's just like another big city. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Have you ever been to London? Let me know in the comments. Do you like big cities? Let me know. I know some of you live in some capital cities of the world, and some of you live in the countryside. So, what's your favourite? Let me know, and I will see you tomorrow.